Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is a Muslimah's Reflection. So I wanted to talk about Sabr and making your choices in regards to a spouse. I see so many of us are rushing to get married. Um, that is like pretty much our main focus. And don't get me wrong, a woman, we that is a part we are to get married. We should get married, so that to keep us from prevent us from committing zina, adultery. However, our main focus should be being good students of knowledge. And in being good students of knowledge, we know that um, what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in regards to marriage. You know, um, as I feel like the same thing he said regarding the type of woman applies to the man that you're marrying as well. Women are, we all know the hadith that women are married for four things: their beauty, their wealth, their family status, and their religion. But the most important part is their religion. What type of student of knowledge are you, or are you now, and are you trying to become? Is an important factor. So that has to do with the religion. And I think when choosing a husband, it's the same thing. I've seen so many posts that were posted actually by Muslim people, men and women. The If a man cooks, he cleans, he can pay his own bills and manages da da da. What do you bring to the table, basically, other than sex? What do you mean? What do I bring to the table? Um, Other than sex, like, why is this even a question in our community? Um, because so what are you trying to tell me? I'm not worth anything but chores, cleaning the house, cooking dinner, and pretty much dropping it like it's hot when you want me to? Is that how we deem our sisters? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dedicated a whole entire surah to us, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, gave a whole hoopbar, a whole sermon in regards to the importance of protection of women, and we look at them as that's all that we are. When Jannah lies at our feet, when we complete half of a man's deen, we are so much more than cookers and cleaners and drop it like it's hotters, so to speak, to put it in that context. you know um what do I bring? I bring spirituality. I bring support. I bring comfort. I bring joy. My job is not, I had somebody say that my job is to be attractive for a spouse. Yeah, I'm supposed to continue to remain attractive when I get married, but that's not my job in seeking a spouse, is to make sure that I'm attractive enough for you to want me. Because my attraction, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time, we look and the physical thing is the first thing of attraction. Get me wrong, but what is the most important? We are told that the religion, your spirit, your soul, how you move in this deen is what's most important. So you can be beautiful and have no deen. You could be handsome and have no deen, have no drive or determination to be a student of knowledge for the rest of your life, or have lack of knowledge because you don't have any drive or motivation or determination. So does that make you the right spouse to me because you look good, but you ain't trying to study? Oh, because you look good, but you do the bare minimum. Should that be enough for me as a sister, as a brother? No. We ask, a lot of times we ask the basic questions when we're looking to be married. Oh, how many kids you got? Have you been married before? What kind of car you drive? What kind of house you got? Where you live at? Da da da. But we don't really dive in deep into what's important. Okay, do you make salah? Of course. What Muslim brother or sister are not gonna say, yeah, I make salah? They're not gonna say, oh, well, you know what? Sometimes I struggle. They're not gonna give you, yeah, I make salah. Yes. Do you go to Juma? Yeah, I go to Juma. They're going to give you, of course, they're going to say that, because those are basic things that we should be doing as Muslim beings. But how about, what are your study habits? Do you study? What type of books are you reading? What I'm saying? How do you feel about, how can you encourage me when my imam gets low? And that's for brothers and for sisters to ask these type of questions. That is what's the most important. Not that I have to be sexy enough to attract a spouse. No, because if I'm on my Deen the way that I'm supposed to be on my Deen, if I'm studying the way that I'm supposed to be studying, if I'm following the Quran and the Sunnah and the Salaf, the blessed generations, the way that I'm supposed to follow to the best of my ability, if I'm doing those things, the right spouse is going to find me. Period. Because it's by the Carter of Allah. What the best type of spouse to attract is the one that you have a connection to, in the sense of how y'all want to journey on this Deen. Not because I'm beautiful. I've known so many people that married before physicalities, and they were sitting there thinking that, oh, okay, well, sister look good, brother look good, you know what I'm saying? They do the bare minimum in Islam. They're not striving, because this Deen is of a pathway for the forever. This is a forever pathway. You should never stop wanting to learn and never stop learning in this Deen. But here I am, I'm stuck doing the bare minimum. Here I am, I've been Muslim for 20 years and I can only recite Al-Fatiha, or I can only recite Ikhlas. Those two surahs, the only ones that I know. So for 20 years, this is all you took to learn for yourself. What type of motivation is that? How can, as a man, to me, if a man tells me that, how can you properly lead me, my brother, when I have more knowledge than you, because I have more strive and determination? I'm doing more as far as wanting to understand my Deen. And that doesn't make me better than you. That just makes me on a different type of path and journey when it comes to what I want to learn and what I want to take and how I want my deeds to be regarding to my hereafter. So I'm not saying it to say, oh, I'm better than anybody else, because I'm not. I'm a striving Muslimah that falls short, but has the mercy and favor of Allah, because He is Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. And vice versa for the brothers. But I just find it so funny that we are so surfaced when it comes to looking for a spouse. I'm not a surface individual. Never have I, never will I be. I'm deep and I'm intellectual. And if you can't match my level, I'm not gonna stoop down to yours to make you feel better. I don't need a person that I want a husband that I can learn something from. I'm striving to learn different things. I'm striving to do X, Y, and Z. And so I need somebody that has a little bit more knowledge than what I have, or a lot bit more knowledge than what I have, so that you can teach me. And in the times that you are falling short, or you fall back, because our iman fluctuates and goes up and down, I could be that support system for you. But my whole thing is this: what is the point of me marrying somebody who doesn't have the drive to learn, who does not want to be a true student of knowledge? Because you can be a scholar, but not, you could be a, excuse me, Safala, you could be a student of knowledge, but not necessarily be a scholar. I'm not looking for a scholar husband, but I'm looking for a person who wants to be a student of knowledge for the rest of their days, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes and gives you that book in your hand come judgment day. I want somebody who understands the importance of that, not understand like, okay, well, I do the bare minimum enough to get by to make me a quote unquote mediocre Muslim. I don't want to be a mediocre Muslim. I'm not striving to be a mediocre Muslim. I'm striving to be the best Muslim, because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam let us know that we are the best ummah. So why do I not want to be the best and deserve the best? I'm not a piece of meat. I'm a human being created beautifully, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that in the Quran that He created us beautifully, but He also created us in hardship. And we all know with hardship comes ease. But I don't have to settle for anything. My job is not to make sure that I look good when I go. I dress decent. I dress modest. I dress the way that I need to dress as a woman, that I'm commanded to dress in that way. You don't see my hair. You don't see my shape or anything like that. And I read, I study, I strive, I learn, I'm humble, I have humility. Even if I know something, that don't mean I have to go out and be boisterous and display my knowledge, but I am to give dawah. But it's a way that you give that. You know what I'm saying? So many people you got people out here that put on masks. You know what I'm saying? And you don't know the true reality. And if you don't ask those deep depth questions when it comes to getting married, or you're not clear on how things go, you know what I'm saying? or you don't let a person know, then are you not being in a form of deception? Because you're not being your true self and your true nature to allow somebody to choose the right type of partner for them. Everybody ain't for everybody, and that's okay. But the thing about it is we must strive in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in striving in his way, that means you learn every single day. Just like they tell us that no matter how many times you read the Quran, you find a different jewel in it. That don't mean because you read it once or twice that you are Hafiz now, that you can memorize it, that you are, I'm a Hafiz, I memorized the Quran, but what are you doing with that memorization? It's different levels to our email, it's different levels to the way in which we study. I'm not here to judge anybody, but I'm here to say this, that in looking for a spouse, the most important thing that you should look for is how they can benefit your hereafter. How can they benefit you in this dunya in regards to studying and understanding and implementing your deen in the way of life in which you are trying to live. And if you feel as though the person is not matching your drive and your determination, then that person is not for you. Don't force something that ain't meant to be.